let's talk about work. Basically, this video is just going to be like a rant and just some thoughts I've had just about work in general, I guess, is what it is. I feel like I'm covered in cat hair. Do you guys feel it though? It's cold. It's October. Oh, it's great. Get to bust out the robes. Anyway, I wrote like 5 pages of just crap. So I was just going to scrap the whole idea of just talking about work. First, I was going to talk about why nobody wants to work anymore. And then I was also going to talk about work-life balance in general. And then I realized I cannot get my thoughts into something that's easily digestible. Like, I don't... Real quick, this is just like my opinions and my perspective on things. I'm just going to be going through like different topics and whatnot and just talking like about random stuff. So if you got time to waste it right now. All right. So get your robes. You might not agree with it, and that's cool. You know why? Because you can do that. We're so different. I'm whispering again. Anyway, bros, it's a lore size. I'm alone with my thoughts, as always. I was starting to talk about it, and then I just kept on rambling. As you can see, I ramble on for a long time because my mind just hits all these other subjects. I'm covered in cat fur, but I think it's because I watched like one video, and now, the internet or whatever platform I'm on is just like, oh, you would like these other videos. And so it just starts just recommending all these other videos that are like the same, And yeah, I'm kind of interested in it, and now I'm just seeing like all these different videos of why don't people want to work anymore, and then usually it's aimed towards Gen Z doesn't want to work anymore or something, that whole thing. And it's just, I've been hearing that like 2 years ago, and I'm pretty sure that comes around like every now and then throughout time, like it's a generalized statement or stereotype is what it is. When you're... See, we're going to start jumping. So just a fair warning, if you're still here, very monotone, and I jump subjects like crazy sometimes. Like it's usually on the same subject, but as you can see, we're getting off track right now, okay? What kind of accent? Sometimes it's hard to talk, and I think the microphone isn't helping because I get very nervous with this microphone because I feel like I'm doing a speech, and I think I've had to use a microphone like long time ago when I was like announcing sports or something, which did happen. I can't believe that. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. So let's just start talking, even though I've been talking this past 8 minutes and 38 seconds. What was the point of that? Nothing really. Anyway, so that whole thing, I was going to scrap it, but the algorithm or the videos that were being recommended to me jump started the whole feeling, and now I'm seeing a lot of it, and I'm like, I just feel like talking about it because it's on my mind. I currently do work. It sucks. No, it's great, actually. I really lucked out, and it took years to get to this point. No, I'm on my 7th job. You gotta get that number higher. No. So yes, all entry-level jobs, and that's where my perspective is coming from, is what I'm saying. Gen Z doesn't want to work anymore. That's a lie. No. Like, it's generalized. It's a whole, like, hold up. Like, on a whole nother note, why is there so much divide of people? I remember hearing the terms like boomers, Gen Z, millennials, Gen X, Gen Alpha, others. We all notice that there's a big divide, as you can see, and I'm pretty sure it has to do with election years, and people are just being people, man. There's always been a divide, but with the internet, like, you can really see it now, but man, it's just been stewing, like it's always been around. Stay with me here. We're the same, all right? We're all humans, some of us, yet so different, and that's what's great about it. I don't know how to get my thoughts out, so I'm just gonna ramble. So stick around, because it's gonna be a long ride. Because my brain doesn't want a brain. I also have to go to bed because I have to work. It's great. So yeah, the whole thing with like generations, it's crap, bros. Why are we fighting? Like, I don't know. You'd think as a species we would all be working towards bettering the world now and for the future, for future generations, trying to make it good for what's left of it. I don't know. I feel like people just like to fight, you know? Just, it's, I don't know, life's too boring for them or something. It's meaningless. As you can see, also, another part of my perspective, I'm very anti work. I think it's pointless. Anyway, and on top of that, I also think everything's pointless. There's no meaning to anything, and once you realize that, it's kind of great. Like, honestly, I've been getting into philosophy, if you haven't noticed. I like to recommend philosophy to some people, not all people. It might help. Like, it, for some reason, it helped me. Just like it opened my mind. Like, and that can be a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. Short-term memory loss. It's already happening. It's the point of seeing how everything's meaningless, which is, I guess you could say my way of looking at things can be very negative and very pessimistic. Is that the word? Yes. Just kind of negative. I don't think it is. But looking at it from like a different, like outside of the box, yes, it is kind of negative, but I just think of it as like a realistic way of thinking. Realize since there's no meaning to anything, I can actually make meaning of whatever I want, you know? And for some reason it clicked in my brain. Like, I don't know how to explain it without sounding like a complete loon, but it works for me. And oh my gosh, like it's great, honestly, because I didn't know there were actual terms or words. I didn't know it was an actual philosophy of certain ways of like how I already felt. So it's kind of great, because even when I was young, I used to think there's no point to this, and I thought it was just, you know, just teenage depression is all it is. I don't know what I'm talking about. We are so off topic. As you can see, my brain has already jumped so many points. So yeah, I think I talked enough about my perspective on things so you'll understand some of this stuff I'm talking about is a little, I'm gonna be brutally honest, just because I don't like to sugarcoat things because it's pointless, you know. Just be honest. Stop lying. Like, stop trying not to hurt people's feelings about the truth. Like, it's dumb. Just be blunt. Outlook on life in general and work are both very bleak, but you gotta do what you gotta do, alright? So yeah, I don't really have anything to offer advice. It's just ramblings of a madman. My situation's pretty good since I still live with my parents, and there's nothing wrong with that. All of our situations are different, and it could take like one accident to change it all, you know, just set it all upside down. That's how it is. That's life. It can be quite nice sometimes, and then other times it can just take a straight nosedive down. Like, you know, it's great. You never know what's coming. It's very sometimes it's unpredictable. It's fascinating, isn't it? I don't know what I'm talking about. The freak. Honestly, I don't think anybody wanted to work to begin with. You just did it because everybody else was, you know? And then all you hear is like, work hard and you can achieve anything and it'll all pay off in the long run. Does it really, though? No, not all the time. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And that's where, like, all the videos I've seen of this, yeah, it's one side, it's one perspective, but it's not looking at the bigger picture. And, like, you can't really put it all together. You can't really generalize it because there's so many different situations, different circumstances, and, like, different everything. And so it's hard to, for some reason, it's hard for me to talk about certain topics just because there's so many different variables, you know, involved. And it's just, I don't know. Got 40 more years of this till retirement age, if it exists by then. Honestly, I don't think it will. Just with how things are going nowadays, it doesn't seem like a good, like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like we're headed in a good direction currently. Who knows? It can change. Anything can happen. You just gotta hold on to that. Like, I don't know, 40 years sucks. Like, more of this, I don't even know how people, I don't know how older people managed. Well, you had to. You kind of have to. Bro, what the freak did I write? I don't know. You should be able to live on a full-time job. What is it? 40 hours a week Honestly, I think 40 hours is too much. I work 24 hours a week because I had to cut back. I'm currently working 5 days right now. You got to, if there's nobody else to work, Bigger paycheck. Yeah, look forward to that. Oh God, I sound so optimistic. I think people should just work 24 hours a week, honestly, because it's the best thing. Like, once you get your sleep schedule under control and, like, get the motivation to do things, it's perfect. I overworked myself. Most of that was all on me, and it was great for some time. And it paid off because I was able to pay off a lot of bills. Like, I don't know. Like, I like to overwork myself a lot, and sometimes I don't notice that I'm doing it. And then all of a sudden, I'm exhausted and burnt out. So I talked to my job, and I just told them, like, just set me on my set schedule, because also I was doing 3 different shifts. So the sleep schedule was a mess, and it didn't help I had a second job to add on to that, and then I was still doing 3 different shifts. And it can pay off. It just depends. If you have the willpower, the motivation, you can get through it, and you can work pretty hard, and save money and all that stuff. But sometimes it just gets too much for you, like, don't work yourself to death. And that's kind of what I was doing. And I'm just like, what am I doing, man? Like, I don't enjoy nothing anymore. Like, when I realized something had to change was when music didn't have any effect on me anymore. When I would listen to music, there was just nothing. And then it got to the point where I stopped listening to music altogether. And that's when I knew something's wrong, because music helps me through everything. And I love it. Music, like, all music is beautiful. Some of it. There are some that's just, what am I listening to? Anyway, I guess it's customer service what I work, kind of. And it sucks. No, it's alright. But the thing is, I'm very introverted, and I do not like people. Don't hate them. Sometimes. No, I love solitude. Alright, the city sucks, but I love solitude. It's great. I find peace in it. Like, I am myself and the happiest when I am alone. When you're doing, like, a front-facing job to the public, like, just customer service in general, you have that mask on, your customer service. And I've noticed mine has fallen, and the only time it comes back is when I'm on the phone. Then my voice goes up, like, 50 octaves or something. What am I talking about? Just don't overwork yourself, alright? After all these years, like, wow, I actually found a good place that has an amazing management and just really nice coworkers, and it's crazy. Like, 'cause that's how many times, like, well, the 6 previous jobs I had, yeah. You should not have to have 2 or 3 jobs just to get by, and you should not be having to do overtime all the time to get by. And oh gosh, there's too many factors to talk about, because if your place is short-staffed, we are so off topic. What am I talking about? Yeah, so many factors. Inflation, price of living, low wages. There's too much of it. And then it all depends where you're working. It depends what management is running. It depends on some of your coworkers, like how the work environment is. What is this? What I've seen from my jobs: dangerous work environment, yeah, hostility, not enough pay, micromanaging. I hate that. Like, if you got a good worker and they're doing their work, don't be hovering over them, because you're gonna make them hate you. Like, unless that's what you want, then do it. But you need to have trust in your freaking employees. Come on now. Now, some of them, no. Except bare minimum, lazy coworkers. You get comfortable and you start doing bare minimum. No training, no pride in the work. People slacking, high turnover rate. It's like a revolving door. Low staff, lack of benefits. Safety is there, but it's non-existent. Get good hires and due to certain circumstances. So if it's bad management, if it's coworkers creating just a hostile work environment, usually the productivity of that employee is going to go down. And if you're not treating them good, or like a basic human being, and then they quit and they're like, what happened? Why did they leave? Like, come on. And then a lot of companies will take advantage of you. You know why? Because you're replaceable. That's how it is. There's plenty of sheep in the pen. Life is long. Life can also be short, bros. So here's the thing. We live, we suffer, and we die. That kind of sucks, doesn't it? But that's what it is. It's life, all right? Life is life. Like, it's. Some people are afraid of death. Nah, man, it's a part of life. You don't have to think about it if you don't want to. Which, yeah, you shouldn't dwell on it because that's not good for you. And besides, you could be doing something else instead of thinking about it because you could get hit by a bus tomorrow. Bros, that's what I'm saying. Life is too short, all right? Like, we're not all guaranteed a long life. We're not guaranteed tomorrow. We're not guaranteed the rest of this day. Because anything can happen. And yeah, sometimes it's scary to think about. I think you should think about it a little bit sometimes, instead of just. It depends on the person, really. Take it day by day will work for some people. That used to work for me, but for now, I'm trying to think ahead. So I don't know. I'm trying to prepare for like all sorts of different scenarios, which is impossible. So mainly, I'm just trying to live in the moment, do what I want to do day by day, but I'm also planning for my future. So I'm saving. Hold on. Last year, like throughout my whole life, I was a big consumer. I was buying a lot of stuff, and as you can see, I have a lot of stuff. This is all the stuff I've collected over all these years, and I've gotten rid of so much stuff. What I was doing was buying stuff to fill the void, if you've heard that before. It's material things, and it's legit. I don't know. Last year, brain snapped in a good way, but I made those choices in the past. That's on me. And I learned from them, I guess. Currently learning from them. And I'm trying to do different by it. That's what you gotta do. Don't dwell on the past, bros. It ain't worth it. It takes up too much time. You can think about, what you could have done differently, but don't hold on to it. Just let it go. Go through it, let it go. Learn from it and continue on, bros. That's all you can do. Why I exhausted myself, again, I volunteered, so it's all on me. But on top of that, all this time, it was all because of like social anxiety too. Too many people. Oh, that's what I was talking about. I got so off topic. Turns out too much people interaction is not good for me. Like, it's great, and it's not the people, it's me. It's on me. I like to fight myself sometimes. Like, it's just. I think it also had something to do with like just taking a step back and taking time and just. I can't just say to get your work-life balance, set boundaries at your work because it might not work for you. Because you could go to your management and tell them and they could just fire you. My goal in life, like, you probably don't even care, but it's nice to share sometimes. My goal in life. What is my goal in life? I'd like to own a house. I think that would be great. A place that you could paint your walls. You could paint anything on your walls. That's what matters to me. The dream, though, to live in solitude. I would like to live in the woods. Not the scary woods, but miles away from people. And then there's just this clearing, like meadows of flowers, alright? And I hate bugs. Some of them are alright. Majority, though, I just want nothing to do with. But I would have a meadow of flowers for the bees and the hummingbirds. Will we ever get there? Stay optimistic. Honestly, it's a possibility. Yeah, that's what it is. It could happen. It could not happen. And then I could also change my mind. That's the whole thing. Like, it all depends on your situation. Because on top of that, not everybody can do 24 hours a week. If you don't have anything to fall back on, or if you're by yourself, you can't even afford to do just 40 hours a week. And that's what sucks. That's why I don't really care for talking about it. Just, we work to avoid poverty. I wrote that down. It took me a while to not be angry at people, to hate, because hate is not good. The world is so full of hate right now. We need more compassion. We need more empathy. there's so many factors as to why it changed, but I think it's always been there. It's just human behavior, you know? Or if maybe there is just a bunch of assholes in the world. I'm one of them. And there's too many different perspectives, or too many circumstances with everything. I don't know how to talk about it, honestly. A lot of that stuff that can happen in your workplace, it can create like this resentment to people. At least it did for me. It probably won't, like it might, but for me, it created just this resentment, and I hated people. I didn't even know people, and I hated them. I needed somebody to blame, you know? So I would blame coworkers. I would blame the management. I would blame society in general. I would blame everything except myself. Honestly, I was just choosing to feel like that. Like, it's like, take a step back. I didn't have to put myself through that. I could have quit a whole lot sooner. I could have put my foot down and told them no. Like, it's my day off. Like, bros. But no, you gotta do what you gotta do, and I don't know. I went through that, and before, when I was talking about my previous jobs, I was real angry every time I would talk about it, and I still held on to that, but now, currently, still trying to let some of it go, because some of the things that went on in my previous jobs are just, I think people are just tired. I think they're angry, maybe scared. I think people are exhausted. And then I also think the internet has something to do with it, like social media in general. Like, think about this. We're gonna jump off topic, like, real fast. How did we get our info? Long time ago. And it wasn't even that long ago if you really think about it, but depends how you take time into consideration. It could have been a very long time ago. Honestly, I look back and I don't think it was that long ago, but it was probably before my time. I don't know. Radio. News on the radio. Newspapers. The Sunday paper. Oh my God. At the table in the morning. Oh man. The TVs. News. Your family, friends, co-workers, neighbors. That's how you got your info. And then the internet came. And now we get info like just like that right now. What's happening right now. And we get millions, like all this info from absolute strangers all over the world. And it's great because the internet created this whole social media. You might be social online, but are you the same offline? You know, that kind of whole thing. It's going to permanently delete this month, but I finally got rid of Facebook. Oh my gosh. And I also got rid of like 2 of my Instagram accounts and Snapchat. That's a whole nother rambling, honestly. The internet does not reflect real life. You have to remember that. And a lot of the times you're going to see more of the negativity than the positives. Like, it depends what you're consuming, what you're following, that kind of stuff. But I don't think we were meant to take in all this info. Maybe I should save this for another video because this is getting pretty long. I just think we weren't meant to consume this much info 24/7. The system is broken. How do we fix it? I don't know. Maybe a full reset? No. How would you fix it though? Either wages have to go up, well, the cost of living has to go down, but then what happens when the cost of living goes down? Cause and effect, bros. We're in it. I got the mentality of like a 75-year-old man that should have retired years ago. It's crazy. Oh my God. I have the personality of my dad. Cost of living needs to go down, or wages need to go up to match it, but you've seen it. It's been churning over time. It's been happening like nonstop. Like, it'll just keep increasing, bros. Like, what is it? Is it the greed? Oh, the system is also a scam. Yeah, it's something messed up. Like, you can fix it, no doubt. I don't even want to think about it because it's like nothing I can do about it. But ponder. And I don't feel like pondering on it because there's no point sometimes, you know? I also think people are realizing that life is actually pretty short, as in you're not guaranteed a long life. Working all their lives since they were like a kid or something. And then they're about to retire and they die. Heart attack, that can happen. And it sucks. I hope people aren't giving up. Yeah, you just fall into line and continue. What everybody else has been doing for all these years. It's the American dream. Oh, it's great, isn't it? I think there's no optimism. Honestly, I think it's the quality of life. The quality of life has gone down. I think it hasn't ever been here, honestly. It depends if you choose to see. The internet or social media had something to do with it. Just how open everything is. And there are some things people should not be sharing online because it's a bit too private, but hey, it's good to be yourself, but there are certain things that should remain private. And I don't know, you're just seeing all over the world all these different people's perspectives, every situation absolute strangers are going through. I think it's too much on the brains. Like, honestly, we should just strive for a simple life. Feels like people are losing hope. That's what it feels like. A lot of the videos I watch, it's just sad, angry, exhausted people. Scared people too. And it's sad. Like, they shouldn't be feeling like that. I hope something good happens to them. And I hope they can find some joy again. But it sucks when there's so many other factors, because a lot of people are like freaking out. They don't know if they're going to be able to eat. They don't know if they're going to be able to feed their family. They don't know if they're going to have a house, like if they can even afford that anymore. It sounds like kind of a mental health crisis. I don't want to say it, but it feels like it. Like, I think people are just losing hope. Like, there's no optimism. The quality of life has gone down. People realize, hey, this is what life is. Yeah, it sucks. Like, I don't know. It feels like everybody just collectively had like a self-realization moment, and this is life. Like, it doesn't have to be like this. It shouldn't be like this at all. No, it should not. The system is broken. It was not made for us, man. Maybe like the extreme upper class or something, but it was not made for like the lower working, poor, nowadays sometimes even middle class. Nobody really cares. Nobody wants to hear it because everyone's going through their own stuff. Everybody's suffering. That's what it is to live in. Other people will, where do you live? And then they'll be like, well, that's it. It's the cost of living there is too high. Move to somewhere that's cheaper. It is not cheap to move places, all right? And that might not even solve it. It probably won't. 2 jobs should not be a norm, all right? 2 jobs is ridiculous. Remember, like, not too long ago, people were talking about they have a job and then you also have to have a side hustle. You have to do the grind. No, you don't. It works out for some people, and it can work out if you just stick through it, play the game, and just get through it. You can get some money, bros. As long as it's not like, getting to you. Like, if it's mentally exhausting you, it ain't worth it, all right? Your mental health is very important. And then a whole nother thing, be selfish. You shouldn't be selfish or like, what is it, narcissistic or whatever. But the thing is, who's checking up on you, man? Like, who's looking out for you? Nobody. Usually nobody is. So a lot of times you have to look out for yourself, and that sucks. But that also doesn't mean you have to be an asshole to people, you know? What the freak am I talking about? Did I just go way off subject? If you're like creative, or if you create anything or something to make that into your side hustle, and it's just, most of the time when people are creating things, it's a hobby, and it's something they enjoy. Immediately monetizing it because it's always, money, money, money. Like, it's always that. Like, I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm currently on a whole rambling. But yeah, the future is pretty bleak currently. It can always change. You never know. Like, anything can happen. All I know is, like, you need to take care of yourself. Mentally and physically. Like, in that whole thing, oh, you can't complain about your body hurting, or that it's hard work or whatever, like, because you're young. That whole saying, no, just because you're young doesn't mean you can't get injured. Know your limits, all right? That's a whole nother rant. That was from a previous job, and I'll fight those people. Resentment, all right? Let it go. Nah, but no, I won't fight nobody. I don't like fighting. Some people, though, okay, let's talk about work. I didn't even talk about it. I just talked about randoms. Yeah, kind of about work. Yeah, it's fine. I'm lost on topics, and I have a ton of topics to talk about. But if they're going to go anything like this is going to be like 5 hours long. I guess that's it to it. There's not much. There was no solution. It was just a little vent in my thoughts and feelings of how I feel. I feel like people lost the hope. I feel like people don't have optimism. Neither do I. I'm very pessimistic just because optimism doesn't work for me because I feel like it's false positivity. And I also feel like it's being ignorant, you know? Go with the flow. Like it works for some people. For me, it doesn't. And I just, because it's not all great, you know? So wishy-washy. It goes back and forth, no doubt. Anyway, bros, if you made it this long, you had a lot of time to waste. I appreciate that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Useless video again. Take care of yourselves out there, mentally and physically, alright? Don't overwork yourself. But then again, sometimes you have to, depending on your situation, you know? And it sucks. Just remember, it ain't your fault. Now, sometimes it is your fault. But from what I've seen from a lot of people just sharing their thoughts online, it's not their fault. It's not your fault. Like, you gotta remember, a lot of things are out of your control. And it sucks. Like, so try to take control of what you can. Life is bleak. Oh man, this video is kind of sad, honestly. Is it because I'm monotone? Honestly, I'm alright. Like, I just feel like talking. I like to talk about my thoughts, and a lot of times they come off a little bit doom speak. Is that even a word? New speak? Is it 1984? Anyway, bros, go read 1984 and come back and tell me how you feel. Like, it's a good book, honestly. The Audible version, I don't know if there's any other with different narrators, but on Audible, what did I say, 1984? Good book, highly recommend. It's a great read. Very bleak, just extremely bleak. Alright, if you're still here, why? Anyway, bros, I don't know what I'm talking about. Next video, I have no idea what is coming. I'm still vaping. I also bought 6 more vapes offline because I can't. When I'm working, just being around people, do not start vaping. That's all I have to say about that. If they're going to be these talking videos, I feel like doing something also like painting, and I can't paint anything like worth anything. Depends how my brain feels, I guess, what I'm going to do next. I'm just here for the ride, bros. Also, I have to go visit Solitude. If you know, you know. I swear to God, I've been hearing that non-stop after J-Lo. I swear. Thank you so much for sticking around for the rest of this rambling. Remember to look after yourselves, checking on the people around you that you care about. It's exhausting out there. Like, you gotta think of it. This is something my dad told me. You have to think of it as a roller coaster. Life. I hated hearing this, but life has its ups and downs, alright? And it could be better. It could also be worse. You gotta remember that too. Just, I don't know. Because sometimes you can't just tell people, be thankful for what you got. Sometimes people don't got nothing. And it sucks. At least you're here, if you like being here. I don't even know. Oh my gosh, I am so pessimistic. Working on it, alright? We have to get the optimism optimized up in here. What? I don't even know what I'm talking about. It is time for bed, bros. I think I'm gonna go eat some ice cream. Anyway, hopefully the next couple videos will be a little bit more, what do you call that? What do you call that? Upbeat. That's what I'm trying to think of. A little more upbeat, because yes, I am very monotone. Okay, sweet Lord. Take care of yourselves out there, alright? Stay safe.